Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to My Pink Bathtub. I am your host, Diane, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to do a recap of my December knits that I did with my Advent yarn, and we're going to talk a bit about my 2025 plans. Yes, I still have my Christmas tree up. Hubs is Ukrainian and insists it stays up until Ukrainian Christmas, even though we don't really celebrate it, but I still got to get that sucker down. That's another project for another day. So if you happen to see a Christmas tree in any of my video, that's why. I know what you're thinking. You want to see my sweater. Now I knit an Advent sweater using the Advent yarn from a 12-day Advent from Polkadot Creek yarns. They are a hand dyer in Alberta, Canada, which is where I'm from. I am in Manitoba in the center of Canada. And it is very cold here today. It's like minus 30 Celsius. Yeah, I'm staying in for the next few days. So this was a 12-day Advent. It was called Woolly Winterland. It came with 12 minis, 20 grams each, as well as a full hank of yarn. But I didn't use the hank of yarn for this sweater at all. The brown color, which is every second row, I use this yarn. And it is from Earth Yarns. It is a fingering weight yarn, and I only used only one skein of it with my 12 minis. I also stole from my mantle string 2 colors from another Advent, which we'll talk a bit more about later. So the pattern I chose is the Gracious sweater from Space Tricot, which is available on Ravelry. I'll link it below. And I actually did it last year with my Polkadot Creek Advent. This is what the sweater looked like last year. I followed the recommended needle size and I did get gauge. I knit a size 2. However, the fabric that it created was much drapier, and when it grew a little bit more than I wanted it to. So this year I decided to knit down a needle size, which essentially meant I knit down a size in the pattern. And I really like the fabric much better. It's much more denser. It fits me better. I know it's going to grow a little bit because of the superwash, but I'm very happy with the end results. And let's take a look at this sweater. I know, short sleeves. I decided to do short sleeves simply because of the brown color. As you can see here, the brown color transitions from light to dark. And I wasn't going to have matching sleeves with the sweater if I did a longer sleeve. So I decided to try one short sleeve and see how it looked. Then I was going to try a 3/4 length sleeve on the other sleeve and see how it looks. But as I was trying to knit the 3/4 length sleeve, I recognized that it really was not matching up very well with the brown, and decided I was very happy with the length of the sleeve, very happy with the fit. It was only going to take one hank of the brown. Let's do this. So this is my first and main finished object from December, my Gracious sweater with Polkadot Creek Advent yarn. The other project that I was doing, which I'm happy with, but I have not yet gifted to my cousin because we had to postpone our family dinner due to illness, is my Gnome. Now I had bought a 12-day Advent from Gingersnap Fibres, which are out of, I believe, Cochrane, Alberta. Lots of Alberta yarn here. And they had a Gnome set sort of with it that included a pattern and included the yarn and some cute little Gnome accessories to make a Gnome. I chose to go a different direction in the pattern, and I chose the Not Just Enough Gnome pattern from the same designer, Imagine Landscapes, and this is my result with their yarn. Turned out very, very well, very cute. It was far more challenging than I anticipated it to be, but I'm very happy with the result, and my Gnome collecting cousin, I think, is going to love it. kind of got a little sidetracked while I was knitting my larger projects, kind of a little bit of a palette cleanser in between my bigger knits, and I was making tiny little sweaters, mini sweaters on hangers to use as ornaments for the Christmas tree. So I had made, I think, 6 of them, but then I've just finished making another one because I finished my socks. And every time I finish a pair of socks this year, I am going to make a mini sweater to use up the additional yarn from the sock. So these are the socks that I completed. I am a new sock knitter. I am. I just followed the pattern to the T by the Crazy Sock Lady, the vanilla socks on DPNs. This one I decided to do with minis, and they are all, most of them are Canadian yarns. So we have Sweet Georgia yarn, we have Borealis, Aberdeen's wool, we have Color of My Fiber out of Quebec, and then this speckled one is from Crafty Wool UK, which is Adam's yarn, and that is the yarn I chose to make my mini sweater from to go with my socks. After doing the second set of socks, I've realized the foot is fitting me great in the heel and all this, but I'm finding the leg is a bit long. So I am going to be altering my next socks, and that's kind of going right into my 2025 plans, my friends, which is to knit a pair of socks every month. What are my plans for 2025? I keep flip-flopping on my plans. I kept putting off bigger projects that I want to make, like my Korean poncho that I was going to cast on right away here in January. And I'm finding myself backing away from a few bigger projects right now because for 2025, I want to be gentle with myself. I don't want to overload myself. And I find I do that quite often. Hence my last vlog, if you watched it, how many projects I had going and how I was knitting a lot every single day and trying to produce to share with you. I have a couple of projects that I'm going to be doing all year long. In fact, 2 of them that I'm going to share with you. I am also a maker, so I sell my knitting at markets in the fall. So I need to really start making some product for that. So I need to do a little bit of that behind the scenes and maybe share with you throughout the year. And then I have to figure out a few bigger projects, but I think I'm going to wait until later in the year for that. So the first project I'm doing all year long is to knit a pair of socks every month. I've essentially been collecting hand-dyed yarn for the year of 2024. I have. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of scared to use it. I mean, it's expensive. I'm not overly familiar with using fingering weight yarn very much. What if I make a mistake and I got to pull it all out? It's like, I don't want to create a shrine for that kind of yarn. And I know they say yarn collecting is another hobby other than knitting, but I've decided, use the yarn. Use the yarn. Why is it sitting on my shelf? I really want to use it. And I'm going to. So this year I'm knitting a pair of socks every month. And my friend Alice, who is a very good sock knitter, is helping me along the way. We have decided we are doing a Sox-a-Long. We have started it. We had a live on her channel just recently, and we picked our first colors for our socks. What I am doing is I had bagged up a whole bunch of sock yarn, and I'm making it a bit of a mystery for myself. I'm still on my vanilla sock journey, but as I go along, I want to try different heels, different styles, as opposed to cuff down. I want to do a toe up. I want to try a pair of textured socks, But a lot of the sock yarn I have is busy yarn or self-striping yarn. So for right now, I'm sticking with my vanilla sock option, but I'm going to alter the one I'm doing this year. Now, before I show you the yarn and get ahead of myself, we have a Ravelry group called Sock-a-Long 2025, S-O-X, not S-O-C-K, S-O-X-a-Long. And we have over 200 members in it already. It's quite something. In that Ravelry group, and I will link it below with everything I've talked about today, there are some bundles of sock patterns that you can peruse. There are vanilla sock patterns for beginners. There are more challenging sock patterns, and there are even crochet sock patterns. So each month we are opening up a second group thread. I think it's called a thread. Alice is much better at this Ravelry stuff than I am. And we are going to be taking submissions of your final socks for the month. So for January, you have until January the 31st at noon Central Standard Time, which is our time, to get your sock photo in. And then we'll be drawing for a prize and doing a slideshow. I'm hoping February the 1st, if not the 1st, February the 2nd for sure. We will get the slideshow up on my channel and we will reveal the winner of January. And then we're going to pull our second pair of socks and go on from there. Let's see the socks I'm knitting now. Here's a photo of the yarn that I opened in case you missed our live, and this is her label. Introverts Unite at Home on Your Own, Please is the name of the colorway. It came with a 50-gram hank and a 20-gram mini to make the socks. I wound the main color up in 2 separate balls because, I don't know, I twisted my hank when I got it on my Swift, so I decided to hand wind it. And this is the other color. I am again doing vanilla socks on DPNs, but this time I am doing a shorter cuff and I'm doing a 2x2 rib instead of a 1x1. And I'm also doing a shorter leg. I also decided for the cuff, I am going down a needle size to make it a little more snug, because I did find in my first pair of socks that the cuff kind of stretched out a lot. But I think that's also because it was higher up on my leg, on my calf. So I'm going to go a little bit shorter. I'm going to do 40 rows of the leg as opposed to 60 rows of the leg that is in the pattern. I went down to a US 1 size needle for the cuff of the sock. And this is what I've gotten so far. I decided I'm going to use the mini for the cuff and for the toe. Alice is also doing the same color as well as another pair of socks. The same yarn as I am, but she is doing her heel and her toe with this chartreuse kind of color. So I have got it on the needle. So we just got to get knitting on it. So please join us if you're interested in knitting socks. Now, I mean, I'm a beginner. I am an advanced knitter. I don't know. I am, I've been knitting for a while, but socks is very new for me. So don't feel intimidated. As mentioned, I'm doing the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla socks on DPNs. She has a YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're into socks, you know who she is. And she has a lot of tutorials on her channel. If that helps you in your sock making, so give it a try. And if it takes you 2 or 3 months to make a pair of socks, just enter them when you're done. There's no pressure here for that. The second project that I plan to do is to use my 3rd advent calendar that I opened, and that was from Tangled Poets, Aberdeen's Wool, their holiday box. They had 24 minis, which were actually 30 grams each, and a full hank of yarn. I won't be using the full hank of yarn, but I am going to be using the minis, and I'm going to be making the Anthology throw, and I started that as well. The thing I really like about the pattern is you can actually check off your rows as you go along. So I found that really helpful. Here is a photo of the yarn advent that I am talking about, that I'm choosing to do, but I'm going to be knitting it from day 24 backwards to day 1. I don't know. I just like the way the colors look better. I have all of them in my bin, and I have caked up the first 2 days, also known as last 2 days, to start it. Because there's 24 colors, I am doing 2 colors a month to knit on this throw, and I'm going to be knitting it all year long. The first color is a very bright yellow, but I'm feeling it's going to look like a bit of a sun in the middle. And here is the beginning of it for me. I just worked on this last night. It's fun, and I feel like once I get this part done, every month I'm going to do some market knitting. I'm going to do some knitting for my mittens. Now, I have a Instagram page, My Pink Bathtub. That is essentially my for my markets, and you can see any of the makes that I make on there. I do things like toddler and adult size mittens in animals, things like pigs and foxes and kittens and just animal fun stuff like that. And that was always done with commercial yarn, usually acrylic wool blend. So this fancy yarn's fancy. I then have a myriad of bigger projects that I want to work on, but I am going to be gentle with myself, and I'm going to concentrate on these 2 knits right now. I do have a lot of yarn in my collection that I want to find projects for. So I'm going to be deep diving into Ravelry and looking at a lot of things, trying to come up with projects that I can do with the yarn that I have. I don't want to say I'm doing a no-buy year, but I'm trying to do a no-buy year. I'm just feeling like I have a lot of excess yarn, and I don't really need it all. Not that I don't need it, I don't need more. So I haven't bought any yarn yet. I'm doing pretty good over here. I did not look at Black Friday sales. I did not look at Boxing Day sales. I'm really just trying to sit on my hands and not look at yarn. I have one purchase coming, and I bought that with some Christmas money that I received and an Etsy gift card from my niece. And that is the Sweet Skein of Mine Countdown to Cupid's box. So I'm going to ease into 2025 rather gently with these couple of projects and see what else I can make once I at least get one sock done and get my colors done for my throw. And then we are going to be doing a Valentine 14-day event, and it's going to be called Valentine Visits. So starting February 1st to the 14th, I will be seeing you every day. I'm just going to do some fun things that I love. Mostly knitting and yarn related, but some that are not. I will have 3 different adventy type things to open for yarn, but I'm also going to be knitting, and I'm going to be knitting all pink things. I know. It's confusing. I am called My Pink Bathtub, but I am not a personal fan of pink for me. I like knitting some things for pink. I knit a lot of market things for pink. I think other people look great in pink, but I just haven't really embraced the pink myself. But I'm going to do a challenge to myself to only knit pink things for those 14 days. So that's a big event coming up for me. So that's why January is going to be an easy slide into 2025. The day after Valentine's Day, on February the 15th, I am going to be teaming up with my dear friend Judy from Judy's Creations in Crochet, and we are going to be doing a MAL. And she is going to be having a live on her channel for us to introduce it and to talk about it in detail. Now, I can't give any information away, but all I can tell you is it is for knitters and crocheters. So please go over to check out Judy's live. She has it posted, so you can click the notification bell. I think I'll put it below. I think there's a way for me to put it below if you want to get in on that. And that's going to be the day after Valentine's Day on the 15th of February. So the next few months are pretty full busy for me. Then we'll see what we do. And I think it's just going to be really organic this year for me. I'm not necessarily going to be doing a Wednesday episode every Wednesday. In fact, I don't think today is going to be Wednesday when you see this. I've thought about it long and hard, and I don't want to make a video just to make a video. I want to make a video with some good content and some information to share with you. So I don't want to like grind out videos just to put out a weekly video. Maybe I'll put 2 videos out in a week. Maybe I won't put a video out for 2 weeks. We're just going to see how it goes. And I think that's the way I'm going to enter 2025. But before you go, if you were watching my vlog, I had a last draw for a pattern, and that pattern was for the Anthology throw. And on the December 22nd episode, I asked my friends to put in the word throw in the comments if they wanted to be entered into the draw. And I have chosen a winner. And the winner is Jennifer Wasaki. I hope I said your name right. Jennifer, did you know you have the word sock in your last name? I think she's doing the Sox-a-Long with us. So Jennifer, please contact me at mypinkbathtub@gmail.com and provide me with your Ravelry handle, and I will send you a copy of the Anthology throw by Helen Stewart. I forgot to say the name of the designer. Helen Stewart is the designer of the Anthology throw. I'm feeling really good about getting some projects completed around here. But actually, the next project really should be taking down my Christmas tree. I don't know why he wants to keep it up to Ukrainian Christmas. I think he's just avoiding taking it down with me, but we'll get that sorted. And the next thing you know, it's going to be February and Valentine's time. So until next time, my friends, I'm not sure when I'm going to have an episode out next. So please hit the notification bell if you're interested in joining along. I'll see you on Ravelry, on the Sox-a-Long group, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.